The surface was already ahead. Lin Ling couldn't see ahead because the light was blinding. It seemed to have calmed down outside. She doesn't know what happened to Sun Jiao and the others. There was still some distance to go up, so Jiang Chen would prepare the rope. Fortunately, there was a crane out there. He immediately grabbed the rope and told them to get ready. Sun Jiao and the guys from Fishbone, Jiang Chen, returned. They finally arrived at the top. Sun Jiao and his troops looked up at them. Jiang Chen's troops were happy to see him survive. Lin Ling asks if they're all Jiang Chen's subordinates. She didn't realize that Jiang Chen was a leader. Jiang Chen says that's not entirely true. He never thought the people Sun Jiao gathered would be useful. Sun Jiao looked happy that Jiang Chen had finally returned. Finally, they all went back to the headquarters. Jiang Chen was trapped in virtual reality for a long time, feeling separated from the outside world. He also felt that the wind tonight was really refreshing. Sun Jiao seemed to want to talk to Jiang Chen, and he told Jiang Chen to take his communication device. Jiang Chen picks up the communication device and asks if it will let him listen to Sun Jiao. Sun Jiao asks if Jiang Chen is getting ready for the group up ahead. Jiang Chen said it was the refugee group. Sun Jiao asks if Jiang Chen took the opportunity to take them. After the victory and handing out the crystals, Sun Jiao asked Jiang Chen what the refugees were thinking. Understand that they were hiding behind the ruins and cowering in the hallway of Death's Door. This was the first time they were moving under the same banner and not like the others. They were trying to attack the zombies. There was no need, even though Jiang Chen and Sun Jiao were taking them to the base now. It would only be troublesome, especially since Jiang Chen needed them to spread rumors about Jiang Chen's strength in their base. So Jiang Chen will escort them safely. Showing strength is better than force. Lin Ling looked angry as she was tied up and her mouth was covered with a cloth. By the time they reached the door, many people had gathered and someone was shouting. Jiang Chen suspected something and Sun Jiao asked him what happened. Jiang Chen went to check it out and went straight to the crowd. He looked shocked when he saw a man hugging a child. It turned out to be the man's son, and the little boy seemed to be dead. Sun Jiao said this small group of survivors, as long as they ran away from the mutants and did not go out at night, they can avoid danger. But when dealing with bandits who hunt for life, none of them are useful. Jiang Chen felt that all this happened because of him, because he attracted the power of the small group, and that was what caused this tragedy. Sun Jiao looks sad because Jiang Chen blames him again. Sun Jiao says it's not Jiang Chen's fault. From a hole in the wall, at least they have a machine gun. This group of survivors only have 1 or 2 families. The one who wasn't taken was named Zhou Gang. Just another corpse added to this place. What's with the vehicles equipped with machine guns? The man kept crying and picked up a gun. He was going to kill them. The people there tried to stop the man. And one of them said, "What can you do?" Then Jiang Chen approached the man. He asked how badly he wanted revenge. Did the man know who did this? They left their insignia on the wall. It must be Huizhang's mercenaries. The man was very angry and said he would kill them all. Jiang Chen thought about Huizhang's mercenaries. When he was on 6th Street, he asked about this mercenary's old headquarters. Before building the villa, he didn't realize it. But estimating it, the distance to Huizhang was quite close. If they were faced with a situation like today, then they just sit and watch. The good name they'd built will be lost. In the end, it's a troublesome matter. When Jiang Chen was undeveloped, he didn't fear their arrival. Now that the headquarters wall has been rebuilt, it is impossible to hide in the ruins like a survivor and be indifferent. New troops appeared in the area. It would be difficult to even pretend to be unaware. Moreover, the news of this victory would definitely spread within the 6 roads. Since their paths were opposite, instead of sitting still, why not move first? Jiang Chen also approached the man. He said that he would help avenge him. Zhou Gang didn't expect that Jiang Chen would help avenge him, and he kept thanking Jiang Chen. Zhou Gang also knew that if he went there alone, he would only be delivering his life. If Jiang Chen could help him get his revenge, then Zhou Gang's life belongs to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen also said that his life belongs to him. The choices they make are also your own. But Jiang Chen will say it's for our benefit. He won't tolerate anyone looting in battle. If Huizhang's mercenaries are the problem, then we must deal with it. Don't think that what happened today has nothing to do with you. If next time or after that the same thing happens to you, don't regret that you didn't act now. If you are willing to be burned and looted, arrested and slaughtered, let your women be taken, cut up. Then the Jiang Chen has no other words. Now the Jiang Chen will destroy Huizhong. You are or not, the choice is in your hands to be recruited. Jiang Chen also said everyone should think carefully. If you are willing to follow him, then join the team. One of them asked if he should join Jiang Chen. Zhao Gang got up. He hadn't seen his wife's corpse and was going to save her. His friend immediately held Zhao Gang's hand. He said that Zhao Gang should think carefully. They said they would risk everything. Would he risk it too? Even though killing the zombies gave them a lot of crystals. But now they had to think if killing Huizhong's mercenaries was worth his life. Zhao Gang removed his hand from the man's grip, and he said, "I am a man." The man said that it was a good saying. He is also a man. He is Jiang Chen's ma coming along. Then they all also said, "Come with Jiang Chen." When courage becomes action, the fear of being looted will turn into a spreading rage. After this battle, the name of the Fishbone headquarters will be established. Every street in the area will be a fishbone wall, and he will be the king of Qingpu. Jiang Chen shouted, "No regrets." A while later, they arrived at Songjiang Experimental Elementary School. Jiang Chen spoke to his entire army using a communication device. All the listening units in front of there were mercenary quarters. Sun Zhou was quite happy and he said, "Good job." He never thought there would be so many people coming. Of course, just as planned. Then Jiang Chen would explain their battle plan. First, there was no doubt that the Fishbone base attacked as the main force. The enemy didn't have that many heavy weapons. The power armor gives them a huge advantage. Ma Zhongcheng will lead 8 soldiers to assist in the attack. They will take care of the blind spots of the power armor attack. At the same time also take care of the anti-armor weapons. The remaining 50 men will be divided into 2 groups and flank the mercenaries from the east and north. Ambush is prioritized, just be prepared. When the front line's urgency is too strong, it will provoke his fire. If the enemy decides to escape, block their exit. If there's no question, take your positions. Within 2 minutes, Jiang Chen ordered them to move. The man asked Jiang Chen if he had any more vacuum bombs. Bombs are great against zombies. Jiang Chen looked annoyed that the man had so many questions. He said he didn't have any more vacuum bombs. They weren't easy to use, and he had given them all away. The man also asked if Jiang Chen had a weapon then. Then Jiang Chen said he didn't have any. Some Zhao seemed to be opening something. It turned out that Lin Ling was tied up inside. He said Lin Ling still had a lot of energy. Then Sun Zhou took Lin Ling out of the car, and he uncovered her mouth. Lin Ling immediately became angry at Sun Zhou. Annoyed by Lin Ling's babbling, Sun Zhou immediately covered her mouth with a band-aid. Then after Lin Ling was quiet, he took off the tape again and told Lin Ling not to be nervous. Sun Zhou just wanted Lin Ling to see what the world was really like. Lin Ling was shocked to see Sun Zhou, and Jiang Chen just resigned to Sun Zhou, pulling out an anti-aircraft gun. After all, it wasn't as friendly here as Lin Ling thought. Teaching newcomers for their future has already begun. Jiang Chen approached Lin Ling and cut the rope that bound her. He also told Lin Ling that she better not provoke Sun Zhou. When she loses her mind, Jiang Chen is tied up by her. Jiang Chen says that even if he releases her in the trunk, it's still safer. There was a camera that allowed Lin Ling to look out. Sun Zhou was very upset that Jiang Chen was talking about her. Jiang Chen is immediately scared and says that Sun Zhou is the most gentle woman. Then he immediately ordered them to move. If he spoke the truth, before the battle he feared that Lady Sun Zhou would be overthrown. Just in case, Jiang Chen would also wear power armor. They had to finish the battle before sunset. Jiang Chen ordered the power armor team to advance. As he was about to advance, Jiang Chen felt something was wrong. Sun Zhou asked if Jiang Chen thought this was a defense issue. Yes, they haven't sent anyone at all. They were this close, but there was no reaction at all. Sun Zhou also felt the same way and asked Jiang Chen to be careful. He also asked if he should shoot now. Suddenly the roof of the mercenary base exploded with a powerful blast. Sun Zhou asked what happened. Jiang Chen said, "Don't tell me the rotating team has been noticed. No way, they should be hiding well." Jiang Chen didn't care because they couldn't sit still anymore. He ordered to shoot now. Then Sun Zhou immediately fired using anti-aircraft guns. The entrance was destroyed by gunfire. Jiang Chen immediately ordered them to move forward. He told them to go up and take a vantage point. When their troops entered, Jiang Chen asked his team to report their status. All his team said that there were no enemies. Jiang Chen looked confused because there were no enemies. The main gate was not protected, the battle was fierce on the other side. Did Huizhang's mercenaries face another enemy? To the point that they can't protect their main entrance? Jiang Chen wondered who the enemy was that Huizhang's mercenaries were facing. He asked all of his troops to remain vigilant, to search all floors and make sure to check every corner. Half an hour later, Jiang Chen asked Sun Zhou if he was familiar with the troops in this area. Not at all. Sun Zhou usually avoided places with signs of humans. There was a large, safe survivor base. The place has been marked on the map, like the 6th Street. In addition, there is reason to suspect that most of them are the hideouts of bandit groups. In short, they should build a defense boundary here and wait for the victorious one to come. If it's Huizhang, we will catch them off guard. If it is the other party, we will decide later. There is information coming in from Team 03. They found something in the basement, and the situation was a little special. After hearing the information, Jiang Chen and Sun Zhou headed straight there. They seemed to be in the school before the war. Jiang Chen told them to check well. Maybe Huizhang had a hidden weapon or a secret passage. They entered a classroom, and this place was completely broken. Sun Zhou heard that people before the war gathered children to train together. It was called what Jiang Chen had just said. Sun Zhou didn't know what a school was. Speaking of which, Sun Zhou received a virtual reality education at the refugee shelter. But what kind of description was gathering them for training? She said she could understand that. You really could understand something in such a short time. But he spent 12 years studying in a place like this. Sun Zhou only needed 50 days in virtual reality. Jiang Chen seemed to be mocking Sun Zhou. Sun Zhou was annoyed and told Jiang Chen to shut up. How do you explain it, like a person who never appreciates the things he has? Sun Zhou said he didn't care about anything, but he would always appreciate food. Well, Sun Zhou won. When Jiang Chen went to school, he wanted to say that. He always complained about why he couldn't graduate sooner. When he graduated, he missed her a little. Maybe it was for the experience. Sun Zhou also asked, what's the point of experience? That's right, it's just like some people change the world to its current state. That's something useless. But Sun Zhou didn't understand it. It was simple. He could meet friends at school and learn how to handle relationships. If she had gotten that kind of education, maybe he wouldn't have tied her up at the first meeting. Sun Zhou yelled to Jiang Chen, "You're going to die." They finally reached the door that led to the basement. If Jiang Chen had the chance, could he take Sun Zhou to see something in his world? Jiang Chen didn't seem to hear what Sun Zhou said because he was so shocked to see something in the room. He called out to Sun Zhou and told her to quickly look into the room. They were shocked to see many women in there. Why were the women locked in here? Some were even naked, and some were children. Now he knew what kind of place this was. Jiang Chen also asked what exactly this place was. The number on the door should belong to bandits, the keys should also be in their hands. The things inside were their loot, toys, and tools. Sun Zhou was really all-knowing. It was common knowledge in this wasteland. So there was a time when Jiang Chen didn't know these things. How charming. Jiang Chen found it strange that Sun Zhou would say such a thing. Suddenly in the back of the room someone shouted for help. Jiang Chen was startled by the voice, and it turned out to be a male voice. He thought this group of bandits was really too hardcore. It turned out that the one in the room was Chunan. He also asked Jiang Chen to get him out of there. He introduces himself. He is a Chunan pilot from Leading City. It's been a month since he caught the bandits. Sun Zhou asked, how can a pilot from Leading City fly here? And why are the bandits keeping men here? Chunan explained that he had an accident and was captured by this bandit group. As for the reason, he also doesn't know. Maybe they want to sell him for a good price. Chunan also asked them for weapons. He could help deal with the bandits. Sun Zhou asked Chunan to wait here. They would take him out when they were done. Then, Chunan asked them for a nutrient mixture, since he hadn't eaten in 2 days. Jiang Chen gave her a snack because she didn't have any nutrition mix. Chunan immediately ate the snack given by Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen also asked opening the door for him wasn't difficult, right? Sun Zhou was silent and didn't answer. He immediately said if Jiang Chen had courage and was not afraid of being tricked. Just because he said he was from Looting City, it was already said to be from another world. Besides, what's the point of adding one more soldier to the load? Jiang Chen also looked at the other room. It turned out that there were more people banging on the door. They still have that much energy. He asked Sun Zhou to take a look at this one. Sung Jiao was very surprised to see someone in the room. The person looked very angry and seemed to have lost his mind. Jiang Chen asked if Sung Jiao knew him. Sung Jiao said that she was Zhu Xiaoxia. She was his old friend from Luding City, probably just an acquaintance. She was also a lone traveler, proficient with pistols and knives when they were together. They fight together. So that's how he looks now. He was caught, tortured every day. Maybe he's lost his mind now. Sung Jiao looked sad because they once fought together. Now that he was down, how could he watch him suffer? Then Sung Jiao wants to free his friend. Jiang Chen asked if Sung Jiao needed his help. Sung Jiao wanted to end his friend's suffering. It seemed like there was someone Sung Jiao couldn't kill. Then the room shook quite violently. And there's information coming in from the empty Team 7. They're under attack, the enemy has heavy weapons, and they're asking for help. Jiang Chen asked who the enemy was. Then Sung Jiao ordered Blank Team 1 and Blank Team 2 to give assistance on the roof. Blank Team 4 and Blank Team 8 take cover and shoot back. Jiang Chen and Sung Jiao will be there soon. Chunan said that if it's definitely not Hui Zhong's mercenaries, they don't have heavy weapons this powerful. He immediately told them to go there quickly. Team Blank 7 said that it was mutants, an army of mutants. How could they meet this many? Jiang Chen asked what they could do. Sung Jiao said facing mutant humans was prioritized. Chunan hoped they would win and had to win. Then there is still a chance to escape from Shangtian. Chunan looked at the person in front of his room, and it turned out that he recognized the person. He was Zhao. When the person wearing the day armor said his name, and he just remembered it. He had been here for over a month, and he hadn't even realized it. Speaking of which, Zhao had been living in Liding City temporarily, probably since last winter. Zhou the Demon Hunter. Whenever he was in town, he always stopped by for a drink at the bar. Many people gathered to satisfy their lust of seeing her goddess. Back then, her appearance was beautiful, but now she was different. In the teacher's tone, this kind of race. They have slanted faces and pale green skin and strong muscles. Their stature was taller than humans. Besides cannibals, they were another race that humans did not recognize. They are a mutant race. Jiang Chen's troops continue to shoot the mutant humans. The FEV virus makes them gain abnormal metastatic abilities. In certain minds, they can be considered living beings that cannot die or be destroyed. Mostly immune to all diseases, they recognize their irradiated selves as perfect humans. They proclaim this desert as their paradise. But they're not birds. It doesn't matter, they still like to turn their bids into mutants. Jiang Chen also asked, so how do they breed? He also shielded his face from the flames because the shots of the mutant humans were really powerful. Sung Jiao said that's why they captured ordinary humans. Or they forced them to breed. Then they undergo special treatment, like cultivating in a virus tube. This assimilation process they call reproduction. Jiang Chen asked where they got that much heavy weaponry. Artillery? Weapons that were first created in underground military facilities. After the military regime was dissolved, they took over all military bases. You could say they had an abundance of reserved weapons. For food, they have many choices. They don't need to eat nutritional mixtures. They hunt mutants and eat their flesh raw. They rely on strong immunity to neutralize toxins. When it comes to fitting into this world, they have reason to be proud. If it wasn't for the fact that they couldn't reproduce naturally, they might have ruled this world long ago. That's for sure. Jiang Chen asked if they had any weaknesses. Sung Jiao said that they had weaknesses. That's what Jiang Chen thought. How can there be an enemy that can't be fought? He also asked how to kill them. Because they are basically human, their telomeres are limited. The stronger their cell division ability and speed, the shorter their lifespan. Although they barely aged, but after decades, they would become more and more vicious. The more wounds they suffer, the shorter their lives will be. So the book is waiting for them to die of aging. Jiang Chen looked annoyed. If someone else had said it, he would have been slapped. The man tried to take cover because the shots of the mutant humans were too strong. Then Sung Jiao approached the man. Sung Jiao said calling her Miss Boss was too soon. She was going to get a little serious playing around with this birdless person. He immediately shot the mutant man with his heavy weapon. The shot caused a huge explosion that overwhelmed the mutant man. The mutant man told his group that Jiang Chen's group had heavy weapons. In order to concentrate their attack on Sung Jiao was overwhelmed as his shots became more and more centered. So he ordered a retreat now. Some Joe was annoyed that the mutant humans kept targeting him. Jiang Chen asked if he should bring the armor car here. The machine gun on top of the armor car could definitely hurt them. Some Joe forbids it because they have 4 guns with no recoil. We can't even match their fire, so Jiang Chen wondered what he could do. Jiang Chen ordered his troops to retreat, hold the line, and he said to prepare for battle inside the building. That's right, if they can't win by shooting, they have to fight at a distance. The mutants need captives, there is no reason not to pursue. A few minutes later, Jiang Chen, Sun Zhou, and their troops were already inside the building. They were moving faster than the mutant man. Maybe the mutants didn't have time to catch up with them. Jiang Chen activated insanity mode. He saw the mutants coming. There were 31 mutants, carrying 19 heavy weapons. They have entered the building. Jiang Chen turned off his madness mode. Even though he could turn it on or off, his body couldn't handle the burden. His team informed him that the enemy unit had reached the 2nd floor. They took the bait. Then Jiang Chen ordered everyone to stay alert. He also ordered them to be ready and fire immediately. His troops immediately opened fire on the mutant humans. The mutants immediately looked for where the gunfire was coming from. Jiang Chen ordered to focus his fire. The mutant humans already knew where Jiang Chen and his troops were and they were going to counterattack. But the mutants couldn't raise their weapons because their hands were powerless and shaking. Some Zhou asked how Jiang Chen knew the mutants' weakness. When they shoot at each other for a long time, they stay on high ground, carry heavy weapons, and can still move. That's how it comes in. Plus, Sun Zhou said the armor they used was heavy. Despite being reinforced, they still can't cheat biology. They could rely on their muscles, but what about their backs and hands? Jiang Chen praised himself that he was amazing. The mutants could only block the shot with their hands, and one of the mutants was shot dead. Jiang Chen's team then provided information if the mutants penetrated District A. The 2nd floor of the left side has been controlled. Then there was a big explosion and Jiang Chen was shocked. His team said weapons without recoil and Team 03 fell. The mutant humans finally attacked and Jiang Chen's troops kept shooting at the mutant humans. Jiang Chen looked annoyed that they hadn't been able to turn things around. He immediately ordered his troops to retreat to the 3rd floor. The mutants continued to fire at them with heavy weapons. Sun Zhou said the difference in firepower was too great. Jiang Chen approached Sun Zhou and asked him to use the last strategy. But Sun Zhou seemed reluctant to use the final strategy, because it would make him lose a lot of crystals. Jiang Chen said it was okay. 1T3 was still 13,000 crystals. This woman really loved her crystals. Jiang Chen said there was no time to hesitate. Sun Zhou asked if we really have no other choice. Then he ordered all his troops to retreat and would use the final strategy. Even so, he still looked very sad about losing so many crystals. Everyone went to the roof and prepared. All his team immediately went up as ordered. The mutants kept chasing them and said that they couldn't escape. When the mutants were near, Jiang Chen counted down. He said get ready to marvel at the beautiful ending. Then Jiang Chen and Sun Zhou ran to the window and jumped down through it. The mutants wondered if they were going to kill themselves. Jiang Chen ordered to note the altitude, activate the jet thrusters to land. The beam bomb that had been attached to the building was ready to be detonated. And finally the building exploded. The explosion was so powerful that the top of the building was destroyed. And Sun Zhou was very sad and cried because he lost many crystals. The explosion was truly incredible. If that mutant human isn't dead, we're finished. Crying, Sun Zhou said it was fireworks worth 5,000 crystals. So sorry for my crystals. Jiang Chen said that Sun Zhou shouldn't be so stingy. As long as they were alive, why worry about those few crystals? But speaking of that, don't they know that Jiang Chen and his team can fly? The IQ of mutant humans is not so high, plus we wear armor. Jiang Chen immediately dismissed the conversation because he thought no one was interested in listening to science facts. If Jiang Chen doesn't want to listen, hopefully his IQ won't be like that birdless creature. Jiang Chen's fierceness also said that Sun Zhou was provoking him. Enough of his rambling, the battle isn't over yet. Sun Zhou ordered Team A to the 5th and 6th floors. Check if there are any mutant humans still alive and leave one alive. Team B went to the 3rd floor and retrieved the power armor. Team C went with Sun Zhou to check the underground laboratory. Jiang Chen was happy that Sun Zhou was as he expected. They finally split up. Sun Zhou saw a mutant human hand and kicked it away. He said what a waste. Didn't he want to capture one of those birdless creatures alive? Even if the hand is gone, they are still alive. If it regenerated again, it would be troublesome. He didn't want to spend that many crystals. Then Jiang Chen heard a voice like that of a mutant human and panicked. It turned out that there was still a mutant human alive, and he immediately attacked Sun Jiao. Jiang Chen was furious to see Sun Jiao being attacked by the mutant man. He immediately attacked and beat the mutant man relentlessly. The human stopped Jiang Chen's punch and hit his body very hard. It sent Jiang Chen flying into the wall and shattered the wall. Jiang Chen couldn't believe it. This power was even stronger than the green skin. He was also confused because this black mutant man could not be fought. The mutant man attacked Jiang Chen. But Jiang Chen immediately took out a grenade and threw it at the mutant man, making the mutant human unable to see because of the explosion from the grenade. Jiang Chen tried to shoot the mutant man with his weapon, but the bullet bounced off because the mutant man's skin was quite hard. He also called the mutant man stupid, and he was behind him. Jiang Chen kept shooting at the mutant man but couldn't hurt him. Then the mutant pulled his leg and asked Jiang Chen to come down and play with him. The mutant man immediately slammed Jiang Chen down and said, "I'll kill you, naughty worm." Jiang Chen said, "Die alone." Then he did a backflip. Jiang Chen took out a knife and said the time has come. Find the weak part of his body and kill him once. Then Jiang Chen stabbed the mutant human's eyes, and he pushed the power armor with maximum thrust. The mutant man was pushed hard into the wall and made the wall crumble. It turns out that the fight is still not over. Jiang Chen prepared for the last kill. He opened his power armor and jumped out of it. 13,000 crystals worth of bombs should be enough to kill this monster. The power armor exploded with a very powerful explosion. The burless monster was burned up. He also admitted that monsters were very strong. But compared to him, the monster was still not strong enough. Jiang was shocked and couldn't believe that the mutant man was still alive. Even the powerful explosion couldn't kill him. How could the mutant man not die? If it was someone else, they should have died many times over. The mutant human was just overheated from being burned by the flames from the explosion. Unfortunately, it was a mutant human. Bullets like this were not even useful. Jiang Chen ran out of bullets. The mutant human was about to capture Jiang Chen, and he wouldn't let him escape again. The situation was very bad. When the mutant man came, he would fall down. He couldn't dodge. Whether Jiang Chen's name would end up here. Suddenly, there was a sizable explosion. Jiang Chen didn't know what happened just now. It was Sun Jiao, and he was still alive. Sun Jiao said that Jiang Chen couldn't seem to do anything without his protection. Jiang Chen went straight to Sun Jiao. He looked very happy that Sun Jiao was alive. Sun Jiao said how could he leave Jiang Chen alone. The mutant looked very annoyed that Jiang Chen and Sun Jiao were enjoying themselves and not paying attention to him. He immediately shouted very loudly. Sun Jiao didn't expect the mutant human's regeneration speed to be so fast, and he asked Jiang Chen to retreat. Jiang Chen looked upset because he was told to retreat even though he was a man. He should have said that to Sun Jiao. Sun Jiao immediately shot at the mutant man with his heavy weapon. Whoever had a gun had the right to speak. He was shocked that the mutant man could dodge his shot, and that was his last bullet. Jiang Chen said this kind of rough talk, leave it to men. Women just need to look beautiful and valuable. He would bring the mutant human into his world to play. Sun Jiao was very panicked seeing what Jiang Chen was doing. Why would he do such a dangerous act? And he would come back, right? 3 days later. The man was stopping Gang Ji and said he was crazy. Gang Ji asked the man to let him go. His wife was underground, they hadn't gotten her out yet. So why can't he get her out himself? The man asked Gang Ji to listen to him. Right now, they shouldn't provoke the woman. Wait a little longer. The man will go with her. As long as there are people there, they will definitely let her go. The man immediately asked Ganji to leave. Sun Jiao looked very sad and she kept crying. She didn't know how Jiang Chen was doing. It's been 3 days, he still hasn't returned. He also continued to hope and believe that Jiang Chen would definitely return. Jiang Chen felt his whole body ache, but besides pain there was another feeling. It turned out that Aisha was on top of him. She was very worried about him, and she was happy that he finally woke up. When he woke up, Jiang Chen looked very panicked. Why is Aisha in his room, and he remembers about the mutant humans who came with him? He immediately asked Aisha if she saw the mutant humans in this room, and he asked Aisha to tell the truth. Aisha immediately apologized because she could not keep their agreement. Yesterday, unfortunate, Aisha heard the sound from Jiang Chen's room, and she immediately rushed over there. She was so worried that she was afraid something would happen to Jiang Chen, because she heard sounds like Jiang Chen was in pain. But Jiang Chen said no matter what, don't ever enter this room. But Aisha didn't care, and she felt she had to check. When she entered the room, Aisha saw Jiang Chen lying on the bed and a dead mutant human. After that, she immediately hid the mutant human in the basement. He will pay with his life and asked Jiang Chen not to kill them. Jiang Chen said that it was not something so serious. He also asked Aisha to keep it a secret. He asked Aisha not to cry and told her to rest because Aisha must be tired. Aisha also said that she would rest. Then Jiang Chen took Aisha out of her room and told her to go back to her own room. He immediately tried to charge his power. The bracelet can be charged, it shouldn't be damaged. But after half an hour, it was only 2% left. He also thought, what is this? Will he get a new skill? It seemed that this new skill, he would be proficient when using a gun. Now he was practicing all the uses of the power armor. He could control it without any problems. In other words, his combat experience could be maximized. A great skill with a name like this was well-deserved. Jiang Chen was very proud of himself and called himself a genius. Then he also accepted the new skill. But back to business. When he was traveling, he used 40% of the energy if he brought another life. It's probably more than 60%. Exceeding the capacity, that's why he will faint. What if she tries to use her powers? Will she be able to travel again? But when he wanted to try it, Jiang Chen was shocked by electricity. And it looks like he has to sleep first. As he was about to sleep, he thought of Sun Jiao, who shouldn't be in any danger. In the end, he couldn't sleep last night. His fatigue had also dissipated a little. His energy bracelet was also about 10% charged. He immediately went downstairs and headed to the basement to check something. The storage room couldn't store living things. It was dead, so it should be able to enter. Jiang Chen looked panicked because his bracelet didn't seem to work. But it turned out that the bracelet was still functioning properly, and he could open the storage room. Finally, he can put the mutant human into his storage. He also tried to travel again. But he immediately failed and couldn't do it and was immediately in pain. It turns out that Jiang Chen still can't do it. Since he couldn't pass, there was no point in rushing. He immediately ran to Aisha to invite her to play. Aisha looks happy because Jiang Chen wants to accompany her to play. And Jiang Chen also looked happy because he could see the beautiful scenery, which can cure eye pain. By the way, it will be fall soon. In the future, there will also be harsh winters. Although there is enough food and clothing, but their military strength is too weak. Through the battle with the mutant humans, the weakness of the Fishbone headquarters must have been widespread. They lacked heavy weapons. If only Jiang Chen could make his own weapons, it would be great. He immediately got a good idea, and felt that he was truly a genius.